Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And ever since Donald Trump announced that he will be arrested this week, Republicans have been trying to convince the American people that the case in New York against him is not strong. But they genuinely could not be more far from the truth. So of course the Republicans are desperate to defend Donald Trump, and I'm guessing part of that is trying to convince the people that the charges are weak and that Donald Trump didn't do anything. But it's literally just a manipulation tactic, and the Republicans are trying to convince us all that Donald Trump is the subject of a witch hunt and that nobody else would have been charged for these crimes. Let's be clear here. Donald Trump is being accused of making hush money payments to Stormy Daniels for an alleged affair that they had with each other. According to this investigation, Stormy Daniels was going to release the story, but then Donald Trump, with the help of his fixer and lawyer Michael Cohen, paid her off to keep her silent. Now, hush money payments are not illegal, but what followed is illegal. Michael Cohen paid the hush money payments out of his pocket, and then Donald Trump later reimbursed him for that payment, but wrote it off as legal expenses. Now, of course, that's not a legal expense, and Donald Trump falsified business records. So number one, that's a crime. But number two, Donald Trump is also being accused of violating election laws and campaign finance laws. And on top of this, there may be other crimes that Donald Trump is being accused of that we just don't know about. The grand jury has been together for a year. They've been hearing testimony that entire time. And there's a very real possibility that there are more crimes added on to the indictment. So we all know those facts, right? But for some reason, Republicans are trying to play down everything I just mentioned. Like, folks, those are some very serious crimes given the right circumstances, and Donald Trump seems to fit those circumstances. And legal experts across the country agree that the case against Donald Trump in New York is strong. I mean, for example, take a look at Norm Eason, a former federal prosecutor who described why this case is strong and why Donald Trump is in deep trouble.
Fred, I believe the hush money case is a strong one. Donald Trump paid these sums to Stormy Daniels, and he booked them as legal fees. They were no such thing. So under New York law, that is a strong misdemeanor case. And there are complexities with elevating it to a felony, but I think people are overstating that. Make no mistake, this is not a political matter. This is another assault against democracy. After the Access Hollywood tape in 2016, another sex scandal could have crippled Donald Trump's campaign, could have changed the outcome of the election. And so it's like a gateway drug, Fred, to the democracy crimes alleged in 2020 that are under investigation by another DA, Fani Willis in Fulton County, Georgia, also under federal investigation. I think he faces severe legal jeopardy here in the hush money investigation, also in that Georgia investigation, and of course the feds looking at the attempted coup of 2020 as possible crimes and the Mar-a-Lago classified document situation. Donald Trump has a cascade of criminal troubles, and notwithstanding, we saw this in the impeachment, there was an initial surge of support among his closest followers that abated after time. Republican voters are going to have to ask themselves, do they really want to support somebody who has so many potential criminal charges? Now we'll have to see what the prosecutors do, starting with DA Alvin Bragg in Manhattan.
Like, yeah, he's absolutely right. The actions that Donald Trump is being accused of directly interfered with our democracy. And let's be real, folks, that's no simple matter. That's not just something to laugh off. According to this investigation, Donald Trump made those payments so that his 2016 campaign wouldn't have been affected. And as Norm said, the Stormy Daniels case could have lost him the election, and he knows that. So what did Trump do? He illegally acted to keep her quiet, and if that is the case, if that is true, Donald Trump should be held accountable. For some strange reason, Republicans will do whatever they can to defend Donald Trump, even downplaying some very serious criminal actions. The Republicans seem to always put Donald Trump over the rule of law in America, and that is absolutely disgusting, and it just further proves the cult-like mentality of Trump's following. Like, yes, I think we can all probably agree that the New York investigation is the weakest among the four, those being the Georgia investigation, the January 6th investigation, the documents investigation, and of course the New York investigation. But just because it's the weakest of the four doesn't mean that Donald Trump is going to get off or that the charges are nothing. And at the end of the day, what should terrify Trump supporters the most, and Donald Trump himself, is that this is just the beginning. Like, all of these Republicans are treating this New York indictment like it's the only legal trouble that he's in. Like, Donald Trump is facing some very real legal challenges on 4 different fronts. And of course, it's important to remember that the New York case is strong because of their witnesses. They've had people like Michael Cohen, the guy who literally orchestrated the payments, testify in front of the grand jury on 2 separate occasions. And he said he gave the grand jury the most comprehensive account yet of what happened with Donald Trump and the hush money payments. So look, I think it's perfectly fine to be skeptical of the New York investigation. There's still a lot we don't know, but based on the facts right now, and based on what we've heard from people like Michael Cohen, this case appears to be very strong, and anybody that tells you otherwise is either a Trump supporter or probably hasn't reviewed all the evidence yet. Regardless, folks, that's gonna wrap up the video for today. I think Norm was spot on when he said the case against Donald Trump is very strong, and this week could very well be a monumental week in American history. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, folks, whether you agree with me or you disagree with me, have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon.